What do you get annoyed most by in pickleball? Your stupid friends hitting lobs on you. So let's learn the overhead right now. Pickleball lovers, don't forget to have a good day. Super slow motion of the overhead in pickleball. Innovation is not dead here at the Pickleball Pirates.
Welcome to the main event. This point is a very good simulation of what you can use an overhead to do to win the point because it gains advantage of the point many times. Unlike tennis, the court's a lot smaller. You can't hit as many angles. Go down the middle more. This will create confusion for your opponents. And you might have to do that if you're 6'7" and look like BJ. He looks kind of like a guy from Lord of the Rings with Mark. You know, maybe he's a dwarf. Let's get back on track. The overhead in super slow motion right now. That's Mark hitting it. Here it is, right? What are his mechanics? First of all, he puts his left hand up. He's right-handed. That turns his shoulders. Once those shoulders are turned, he can really whip around, and it's a loose wrist, right? It's really like a whip. Here's a different angle. Take a look, right? He's putting that left hand up. It turns his shoulders. Then he comes through, really whips it around. And look at all that power he gets. It's really a ton of power. Here's Keith Valentine doing it. Again, left hand goes up, right? He's shielding his hand from the sun. It's extremely sunny as well. So think about that if you do. And you might whiff if it's really sunny, just like that.
When I'm getting ready to hit the overhead, I have two hands on the paddle. Then I go like this. I point my left hand at the ball. It gets my shoulders turned. Then I really snap that wrist at impact. That snap of the wrist will really give you a lot of power. It really will.
Take a look at these two overheads, right? We're going back in slow motion, so don't worry. The first one, he's on the kitchen line and can't scissor kick, right? Because he would touch the kitchen. The second one, he decides to scissor kick. What happens when you decide to scissor kick when you're close to the kitchen? That. He stepped on the kitchen line. That's a fault. Even though he missed that, that's a fault. And that happens all the time. This is what happens in super slow motion. This is Mark Napotovich. He's senior pro. He's on this channel. And he knows how to hit an overhead.
If you're coming over from tennis, you're going to do that scissor kick, right? But if you're too close to the kitchen line, what are you going to do? You're going to foot fault. That's correct. Another thing I see when I'm coaching tennis players convert into pickleball is they try to do too many angles with that overhead lob like in tennis. But the court's a lot smaller in pickleball, a lot smaller. So down the middle twice and then angle. Think about it.
Take a look at this point because it's really good. So I put up the full point. I know all pickleball lovers here. JD, Ernie's, Cliff throws up the lob. Look at Jonathan. Deep middle. Deep middle works. Deep middle again, somewhat, right? Middle, right. But middle works. Middle can win. The next one I would have went out wide because they're both jumping in the middle for it, and that opens up that angle.
When people lob you, don't take all those small steps. This is what happens right here. You'll be injured.
I was at Pear Park about 2 years ago. A lady hit her head. Ambulance came. I did win the game. She had to forfeit. Joking aside, she was okay, but taking too many small steps will lead to this.
Here's the trick. If you're right-handed, point with your left hand at the ball. This will get your shoulders turned. That way, when you come through, you'll get a lot more power. A lot more power.
Any type of swing, I don't care what it is. Let's take a golf swing. When you swing that golf club, where is that power coming from when you clear your hips?
When I'm teaching my clients with bad shoulders, bad rotator cuffs, I like to teach them the sky hook, right? You're coming almost around your body. You're not really hurting that rotator cuff. And it really can be effective. It really can.
Take a look at Keith Valentine. He's using the skyhook right here. It doesn't have to win the point. It can, but it will get you back in the point. It's effective for coverage, and it doesn't hurt your rotator cuff. Here's another shot when he's hitting that sky hook. He's pretty athletic. He's coming from volleyball. So it depends what sport you come from. Most volleyball players have really good overheads. Mark comes from badminton, so he has a little more of a wrist snap, right? A little snappy snap. Snap.
Words of pickleball wisdom. If you think they hit way too good of a lob, it may be going out, so I would look where your feet are. I really would.
When you're going for an overhead and you're saying, this is going to be way too tough, I think it might be going out, maybe you should let it go out or listen to your partner. Communication is key in pickleball, and vice versa. If your partner is going for one, really communicate, because this one, Keith thinks it's going out, and it goes out. That was close. May have been out. What shot is Keith hitting here? the sky hook, right? Because he's not hurting that rotator cuff. He did almost twist his ankle on that ball, Keith. Watch out. Look at how much torque Keith gets on this overhead. He did come from volleyball. That's really athletic. He's turning those shoulders and he's really snapping that wrist.
Pickleball lovers, may I suggest this video? It is so good. And let me take a survey. Did you learn anything today? If you played pickleball this afternoon, are you going to try to hit that overhead that I just taught you right now? I'm just trying to waste time, so you click on this. And I hope you remember to have a good day.